Well, Dana, look, I'm very struck by Kamala Harris because you've briefed a principal, and I get, when you're briefing a principal, you're very selective what you take to them. I remember Trump before the debate, I was selective what I told him, called him about, but she's making this all about her. Yes, that was probably bad what Biden did, but rather than being angry about, I don't know, running in the first place, she's angry because he made the moment about himself. She's making it about herself.
Well, and she's still so upset about it. And she has to use all the vocal fry and all the acting skills that she can come forward with, like how hurt she was. Maybe she was mad. I would be happier, or not happier, I don't care. But I would be more impressed if she was like, yeah, it made me mad. And that's why I did that. And where is the fire? Where is the desire? But when she says she is not ruling out running for president, no, she is ruling herself out. Just not with words, but with video and all of this. And Gavin Newsom, it's like he can't decide which personality he wants to be. Every day you could have a different one. Maybe that's a great strategy for him in the long run, but there's anti-woke Gavin, there's woke Gavin, there's guns Gavin, anti-guns Gavin. There's the one who sounds cool when he cusses, and there's the one who hangs out with professional athletes, and then he's the one who's with all the ICE people. And then he's the one who is standing nearly alone defending Joe Biden as the best president of the last century. I mean, aside from Karine Jean-Pierre, even Kamala Harris isn't doing that anymore. I don't know who is the constituency that helps him with. And I could be wrong in the long run, but I actually believe that whichever Democrat is willing to stand up and give a full-throated defense of saying, that was a terrible administration. There are things we did that were wrong. We focused on all the wrong things. Here is a new path forward, and I am the one to lead it, that will be the person that the Democrats can figure out a way to build a coalition around.
Yes, so
unless it's Zohran Mamdani, and then all bets are off.
Then all bets are off. To that end, he says Biden's the most successful president of the last century. Among them, Jessica, I remember the CNN headline that we have here: Biden's economic ratings are worse than Carter's. And then you have New York Post, Biden's the least popular president in 70 years, below even Nixon and Carter. Scathing poll finds, and said scathing poll was Gallup.
Yeah, I think that there is a way to talk about what you see as the legislative achievements of the Biden administration. If you want to talk about the CHIPS and Science Act, or what the American Rescue Plan did, that he got gun control done, that the U.S. had the fastest recovery in the G7. You could do all that without saying, best president in the last century, because that's what people are going to glom onto, 100%. But this narrative that, Democrats are in disarray and that no one can figure out, how to talk about Trump or defeat Trump, I think Gavin Newsom is a pretty good test case for someone who knows exactly what to do. So he's now number one in the betting markets for who's going to be the Democratic nominee, which was not the case when Trump came into office. Prop 50, which is Gavin Newsom taking on Donald Trump in this redistricting fight from what he wants to be done in Texas, is going to be a huge success. The Republicans aren't even funding the effort against it anymore. I mean, the approval, I think it's at 57%. You have even the OC, Orange County, which is very conservative, turning out to say, yes, we should redistrict. Democrats are doing better and better on the generic ballot, portends well for the midterms. You have key constituencies that Trump won. Greg, we already talked about it in the green room. Young voters, cratering with them. Latino voters, 27% approval. It was 44% when Trump came into office. And headline after headline about this administration is layoffs. UPS, Amazon, Intel, Nestle, thousands of people losing their jobs. So I think that says that the Democrats are doing a good job, certainly in Gavin Newsom, talking about this, and that Americans are going to try voting for us in the midterms.
Jessica,
so wait, just to be clear, those people are losing their jobs, hence, the Dems are doing a good job.
No, hence that Trump is not doing a good job, and it is translating to support.
Amazon is cutting out people because of AI. Therefore, the Dems are doing a good job.
And it's not,
that's what I heard.
It's not the job of the president to be able to manage the American economy and ensure that Americans can stay in their jobs.
Here, on the subject of polling, first, the CNN average, the generic ballot is at +3 Democratic. It was +11 in October of 2017. So not a great position, even CNN saying that. And Charlie, when you look at economic data, we have this poll that shows, again, Gallup, 43% last October said the economy was the biggest problem to them. Now 24%. Trump has made a lot of headway.
Yeah, he's made the economy a lot better for a lot of people. And at the end of the day, he takes a lot of gambles, a lot of risks. But at the end of the day, that's the only thing that's going to matter. If the tariffs don't work the way he expects and the border his border strategy doesn't work for the economy of regular people, then all bets are off. Yeah. The problem with Gavin Newsom is he's totally delusional. And if he's going to sit there and say that Joe Biden is the greatest president he ever had, Kamala Harris lost the presidency because she couldn't think of one single thing that she would have done differently with the Biden administration. I don't think that Americans look at the Biden administration and think that that was some sort of ringing success. And I think a big part of that is that I don't think you can point to a single issue that Joe Biden or Gavin Newsom are embracing, that they're in agreement on, that jibes with what voters want. I can list you 50 issues that Trump has embraced, a lot of them not popular in Washington, but that he's made tremendous success by defying Washington, in some cases defying his own party, that people love about him. And I would argue that actually, if except for the hotly negative press that Trump gets, his popularity would be a lot higher right now if it were just based on those issues.
You know, and Greg, I go back to this Democratic researcher, 250 focus groups, not a small sample, and they compared Democrats to tortoises, sloths, and slugs. And I mean, animals are great, but it's not great politically to be compared to those.
Yeah, it's deeply offensive. And you know, I think when I go back to this, comparing the governor of California to a serial killer, Patrick Bateman, is deeply offensive to Patrick Bateman. He is a fictional character, but if he were real, he'd be very upset. He'd probably sue for slander. You know, I think it's pointless. We were talking about this in the green room, actually, for real, not a joke. We don't have to set the record straight. It's all out there. Why, if you have to set the record straight with the Democrats about the past, they're just going to try to come back with the same crap. You don't have to do that. It has been settled. The science has been settled. We don't need to quarrel about them. Listening to even listening to Kamala complain about Joe Biden, it's not even about them anymore. It's about the people covering them who covered for them. Remember, these were the people who said Biden was competent and then afterwards said that Harris was the best candidate ever. And if you questioned either one of those things, you were called nuts. We were gaslit in immeasurable ways over these two people. So the media either has to admit collusion or clean house. And I talked about this yesterday. CBS is actually cleaning house. If you don't clean house, you get no credibility. The industry itself has no credibility until either they have a come to Jesus moment over the last 4 years or longer, or they fire everybody and replace them with real people. The issues are gone, right? If you look at trans, that's gone. If you look at identity politics, it's a joke. Wokeism is a joke. Climate change just disappeared. So what are they looking for next? What's the big hoax? I think you're seeing, they're trying to make ICE into the Gestapo. It's not going to work. Then you have this cry for affordability, which, is a real thing. Affordability is a real thing, but it's not a real thing the way the Dems are using it. They're replacing the word equity with affordability. Because if you ask, okay, what do you mean by affordability? From whom and for whom, right? Then you're back to equity and redistribution and higher taxes. People who wish to live somewhere beyond their means, that's who affordability is for. From are the people who will pay the taxes so the people can live beyond their means. This is no different than equity. This is where, if you're a smart thinking, independent mind, you should be very suspicious when they use the word affordability because they're going for your wallet. They're punishing the makers and indulging the takers. It's the same old story.
And if you look at the ads playing in places like New Jersey and Virginia for the Democrat candidates, they're all about cutting taxes or lowering costs. Who thinks that the Democrat Party is the party of lower taxes?
Right. And I seem to remember the big, beautiful bill that lowered taxes, but
for
tax
rich
be what
people.
they may. No,
Ooh, evil
for
rich
everyone
people,
across
you
the board.
say?
I hate them.
No, the Trump tax cuts lowered for every income bracket. All right, coming up next, an incredible night at Ole Miss. Erica Kirk and Vice President J.D. Vance speaking to students on how they can keep Charlie's life and legacy alive.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.